Okay, fine. So, good afternoon, students. So, today we are going to start discussing about textile wet processing to laboratory course. This is my first course for you. I am Dr. Sri Krishna. Hope you may knowing about me. There is no need for an introduction about me to you. So, we'll directly move on to the course contents. So, in this course, what you will be learning? You will be learning about dyeing and printing. Okay. Hope you have already had some learning about dyeing during the TWP1, but practically you will be learning how the dyeing is to be done and printing is to be performed. Those things you will learn from these practicals. There are 13 experiments here, and you can see from that from around 7 experiments are dyeing, and around 5 experiments belong to printing, and one is a just a chemical gravimetric testing method that is different. So totally there are 13 experiments are there. We will try to complete all the 13 experiments in this semester. So today what we are going to see from this 3WP2, we are going to see 2 experiments we are going to discuss today. One is the experiment is dyeing of polyester in HTHP dyeing machines, and another is dyeing of polyester with dispersed dyes and carriers. Okay, so before going into the discussion, I want to know about from you what is meant by dyeing. Can anyone tell me what is meant by dyeing?
Coloring the fabric.
Coloring the fabric. Okay. Only if you will uniformly color, or you will non-uniformly color. If you will you apply the color on the respective particular area or throughout the fabric?
Sir, it depends on us.
No, actually coloration, the dyeing is the uniform coloration and application of color. Okay, that is the dyeing. Dyeing is the uniform coloration, which when you completely apply over the material, that is called the dyeing. But this is different from printing. In printing, you will apply the color only on some specified boundaries. Okay, if you print a design over a particular material, you will do the printing only on some particular portion of the fabric. But whereas when you do the dyeing, whether you are doing it in the yarn or when you do it in the fabric, you will actually completely color that. Okay, so it is the uniform coloration and application. Okay, that is the dyeing. So can anyone tell me about what is meant by polyester fabric, polyester fiber? Anyone, what is meant by polyester? What is meant by polyester fiber? Any idea?
Sir, it's something silk type.
Silk type.
Synthetic, sorry.
Synthetic type. Polyester is a synthetic fiber. Synthetic fibers means what? Something which is not natural, which you produce from the petroleum-based substances. Okay, which you perform through some chemical reaction. Polyester is a very important versatile fiber which is used in apparels, technical textile, and various applications are there. About polyester, you will learn how to manufacture the polyester and its application in detail when you study the man-made fibers. But polyester, just to understand that it is a synthetic fiber. Okay, it is a synthetic fiber. So how to dye that polyester, that we are going to see today. The first experiment which we are going to discuss is the dyeing of polyester in HTHP dyeing machine. Okay, so whenever you feel difficult, you can immediately ask me the doubt. You're always welcome to intervene in the lecture also, no problem. The main things you need to understand. So what is a polyester? Polyester is a synthetic fiber. It is a non-ionic fiber. You know what is meant by non-ionic? Non-ionic means it is neither positive nor negative. It does not have any charge. Okay, it is a hydrophobic and thermoplastic fiber. Okay, what is meant by hydrophobic? You know what is? Can anyone tell me what is meant by hydrophobic?
It's don't like water doesn't stick on it. It will
Exactly.
float away.
Yes. Phobe means hit. Okay, just to keep this word. Hydro means water. Phobe means hit. File means like. Okay. So it is a water hating fiber and thermoplastic in nature. I hope you know what is meant by thermoplastic and thermoset. A material, if it melts and after you cool down, it becomes, you can again uh, heat. If you heat, it will get melt. If you cool down, it will become a solid. So that it is a reversible process. Okay, I hope you know what is meant by a thermoplastic material. Polyester, polypropylene, all these are thermoplastic material. Okay, so if you heat, apply a very high heat, when the fiber reaches the melting point, it will become like a solution. Okay, it will become like a molten solution, and once you cool them, it will become a solid. Okay, so that is the thermoplastic. I hope you may be knowing it. So if you see the polyester fabric for you near your home or any place inside your home itself, you may be having a polyester fabric. Otherwise, you can just go to any market and purchase a small half-meter fabric and see how the polyester fabric surface is looking. It has a very compact structure. Compact means very close structure. Okay, so because of that close structure, dyes cannot easily go inside. Okay, because something is very packed structure means how can the dice will enter. So for that, what you need to do is you need to change the structure. You need to change the structure of that. How to change the structure? If there is a place where there is no gap is there, how will the die go inside? So you have to modify the structure. For that, you need the heat. You need to apply the temperature. Okay, so there is a parameter called glass transition temperature. Have you heard about this word called the glass transition temperature? Okay, have you heard? Can anyone tell me what is meant by glass transition temperature? In NFFB, have you learned this?
No, sir.
Not heard. Okay, I will just give you an example. Can you understand now what is put in this figure? There is
So
a
you're not presenting anything.
huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is the problem?
So you're not presenting
Screen is
anything.
not,
Huh?
sir, screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible. Oh ho! I am speaking. I am thought that you are understand. You should. From the starting, you are not seeing any screen.
No, sir.
Oh my God! Okay, I will just disconnect and rejoin. There is a problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were discussing about the introduction part of the polyester. Okay. So regarding the polyester, the discussion was about the glass transition temperature. Okay. So what is this glass transition temperature? Have you learned from the natural fibers and fiber forming polymers? You have not learned. So I am giving you an example. What is meant by glass transition temperature with the help of a butter example. You can just see this. What you're observing from here? Can you understand? Can you understand anything from this? Could you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is this? There is a butter which is a solid. When you apply some heat, it melts. But when you apply a very high heat, it becomes like a ghee. It becomes ghee. So this is assumed that this is the polyester, and this is the glass transition temperature, and this is the melting temperature. Okay, just imagine this is the polyester fabric, which is solid at room temperature, and when it reaches the glass transition temperature, it becomes what it becomes. It becomes like a rubber. Okay, it melts, the structure gets changed. And when you apply a very high temperature, like melting temperature of the polyester, it becomes a liquid. And when you cool it, it will become like this. That is the thermoplastic. So here, what is this glass transition? The glass transition temperature is a temperature at which a polymer below the glass transition, it will be glassy. Above the glass transition, it will be rubbery. Okay, this is like a glass, solid glass state. Okay, if something is like a glass, can something penetrate inside? It cannot penetrate. So what you do is you apply some temperature. There is a temperature called the glass transition. In that temperature, the polymer undergoes transition from glassy state to the rubbery state. The material becomes a little flexible. You understand? Something will become little flexible after you apply heat. See, for example, you have a knife with you. Can you cut this cheese, which is freezed cheese, butter? Can you cut them?
No, sir.
But if it is, if you just heat it for some few minutes and then if you cut it, what will happen? It will immediately, smoothly, it will cut. Okay. Similarly, here polyester, it is a very compact fiber. Okay. So for dyeing the polyester, you need to change the state of the polyester from glass to rubber. Okay, from glassy state structure to the rubbery state, you need to convert. For that, you are applying heat. Okay, this glass transition temperature, it will be mainly observed in the synthetic fibers and not in the natural fibers. Whichever material that exhibit plastic behavior, thermoplastic behavior, in that material only this glass transition temperature comes into picture. But whereas if you see cotton or wool or silk, there is no such discussion on glass transition temperature. Okay, so for dyeing this material, this polyester fabric, you need to this fiber should be dyed at high temperature, should be above the glass transition temperature. Okay, so that I have explained you. I think you have understood how because when it converts from glass to rubber state, that time dyes can easily penetrate inside the fiber structure. Okay, because it's a very compact fiber that you need to understand. But normally the glass transition temperature of the polyester is around 80 to 85 degrees centigrade. But normally dyeing we carry out at a very high temperature of say 130 degrees centigrade. Okay, that question I am asking, this is this week assignment for you. Next week you need to tell me why, when the glass transition temperature, when the fiber has become like a rubber, dyeing कर सकते हैं ना हम, क्यों 130 डिग्री में करते हैं, वो भी आप सोच लीजिए. आपने you find out the answer for that. Next week you can tell me the answer. So Now I think you have learned what is meant by glass transition temperature. So now this dispersed dyes, can you dye it by using any kind of a dye? Can you dye with any? You must have
No,
learned about like
no,
direct
sir.
dye hai, reactive dye hai, VAT hai, sulfur hai, azoic hai. Many dyes are there, but all dyes cannot dye all the fibers, because depending upon the chemical nature of the fiber, you need to choose the dye. Okay, so for polyester, okay, for polyester, dispersed dyes are the correct dyes. Dispersed dye only can dye the polyester. Okay, so these dispersed dyes, about dispersed dyes we need to learn before going into discussion. So dispersed dyes are water insoluble non-ionic dyes. Okay, it is not water soluble, it is a water insoluble non-ionic dye. It does not have any charge. Okay, it is mainly used for dyeing the non-ionic fibers, because polyester, as I have told you, it is also a non-ionic fiber. Polyester or other thermoplastic fiber like cellulose acetate, cellulose triacetate, these kind of fibers can be dyed with the dispersed dyes. Okay, इसको dispersed dyes का नाम क्यों आया? Because it involves the use of dispersing agent. What is dispersing agent that we are going to see now? इसका particle size है ना, बहुत कम रहता है, around 0.5 to 2 micron. Okay, and it will contain groups like amino, OH groups, etc. So for this dye and polyester are held through some attraction. What attraction exists between both of this? Hydrogen bond, very, very less participation of hydrogen bond and more participation of van der Waals force. Okay, I hope you may be knowing about these things. What is hydrogen bond and what is van der Waals force? If you see polyester, it is mostly made up of benzene rings. Okay, polyester structure, if you recall your understanding from the previous NFFP lectures, polyester structure will be having a more presence of benzene rings. Okay, and very, very less chance of water absorbing groups. Okay, so mostly the dye and the fiber are held through van der Waals force. You know what is meant by van der Waals force? It's a weak force. Like, for example, something which is very, if you take a small 1 spoon of sugar and put it in, for example, say a big 100 liters drum of water, the water will not become sugar with only 1 spoon of sugar. It is just like a weak force. Okay, so mostly it is held through the van der Waals force and very, very little hydrogen bonding. But anyhow, in general, you can say what are the force of attraction between the dispersed dye and the polyester is the hydrogen bond and van der Waals force. Okay, that you need to know. There are some classification of these dyes. There are various classifications of these dyes. You can classify the dispersed dyes into group A, group B, group C, group D, like that. There are various classifications are there depending upon the sublimation. Normally, if you see, this dispersed dye is a different type of a dye from if you see the normal dyes like a reactive or a bad dye. These dyes have a low molecular weight. Okay, molecular weight बहुत कम है, इसीलिए क्या होता है? It will sublime. You know what is meant by sublime? It will evaporate. Okay, so depending upon the sublimation fastness, these dyes are classified on different groups. This is just for your basic understanding. Do not bother about this classification as of now. These dyes are classified based on the different the rank of the sublimation fastness. Okay, so this group A, B, C, D. So here this group D has the highest sublimation fastness, which means that it will give very good grading. It will not easily evaporate. Okay, so this is exclusively used for dyeing the polyester in HTHP or thermosol. There are many methods are there that we are going to see now. So then we will see what is meant by dispersing agent. As I have told you, this dyeing should be performed with the addition of a dispersing agent. That is why we call it as a disperse dye. Okay, So this dispersing agent, it contains some different chemicals. Normally, dispersing agent is a basic name, but it will contain some chemicals like formaldehyde condensates of naphthalene, sulfonic acid, cresol. These are all the chemical names. Just know this. And among these all, this is the naphthalene sulfonic acid is the commonly used dispersing agent. वो हम क्यों use करते हैं? Okay. See, for example, if you do not use the dispersing agent, what will happen? That we are going to see. See, for example, if you see disperse dye, as I've told you, it does not have any charge. Okay, it does not have any charge. If you add the dispersed dye directly into water and mix it, what will happen? It will form some agglomeration. It will form some clusters. All the dye molecules will join together to form some hard clusters. Okay, इसके लिए हम क्या करते हैं? We add this dispersing agent over the surface to this, so that what will happen? Around the dye surface, some negative charges are introduced. Okay, over every single dye molecule. Okay, so if it is introduced, what will happen? It will not form the cluster, because if this is for one particular dye molecule, the surface is negative. Other dye molecule, the surface is negative. Negative and negative will create only repulsion. Okay, so that it can make the dye soluble without forming the cluster. Okay, it will promote the solubility. Okay, so that is why to create this negative charge around the structure, to improve the solubility and to prevent this cluster formation, we are adding this dispersing agent. This you should know why we are adding the dispersing agent. And dyeing mechanism, which I have already told you, you may be knowing about this dyeing mechanism. Like, first you deposit the dye at the low temperature, then diffusion take place with the increase in temperature. Okay, just to recall the discussion on glass transition temperature. At room temperature around 35 to 37, you start the dyeing, and then what will happen? Dye diffuses slowly, but with the increase in the temperature. Okay, and dye penetrates inside with a very high temperature. At very high temperature, say around 100 degree or 110 degree, the dye penetrates inside, so that once once the dyeing is completed, what will happen? The dyes whichever has entered inside the molecular structure of the fiber, that will get entrapped. Okay, the pore, just imagine the surface which contains some pores. Dyes will just enter in that pores, and once dyeing is completed and the bath is cooled, the structure closes. Okay, so once it is closed, it will not open until and unless you apply some high temperature, because it is a thermoplastic fiber. At room temperature, it will be in a glassy state. Okay, that is why even it has the van der Waals force of attraction between, which is a very weak force. Still, why uska washing fastness acha hai? Washing fastness, I hope you may be knowing. If you take the polyester dyed fabric, if you wash them, if the dye comes out, that is called the fastness. These dyes have a good washing fastness because the dye penetrates inside the structure of the dye and it becomes entrapped. Okay, it is like a mechanical entrapment, so that it will not come out, because after you cool down, the structure gets closed. Okay, so that you need to know. So now coming down to methods of dyeing polyester, there are 4 methods. One is called the dyeing at boil. You can do the dyeing at boil without the carrier. Next is the dyeing at boil with carrier. Number 3 is the HTHP dyeing. Number 4 is the thermosol dyeing. Okay, so these 4 methods you can dye the polyester with the dispersed dyes only. But among these 4 methods, we are going to discuss for our practical point of view, we are going to discuss only these 2. And today's lecture, we are going to see only the HTHP dyeing. Okay, all these methods are mainly done by the batch process. You know what is meant by batch process. For example, you have a particular meter of fabric. If you want to dye it, only that particular batch, then that is the batch dyeing. And whereas continuous dyeing is something different, where there will be a sequence of machines where you will be there, where all the dyeing process and the other process will be in conjunction. Okay, So this thermosol is also a part of this polyester dyeing method. That is a separate one, which we are not going to discuss for your practical point of view. So this just you know it for your understanding. Okay. So now we will see for your practical point of view, what do you need to learn. So we are now going to discuss about high temperature, high pressure dyeing. Okay. So this is the commercially successful method to dye the polyester to produce the level shades. Okay. So this process do not need carrier. Why? What is the use of what is a carrier that we will see later? Just to know this is a high temperature, high pressure. You use a very high temperature and a very high pressure to dye this. So it does not require any further extra polluting chemicals like carrier and generate lesser waste load. Okay. So here this dyeing also you add the dispersing agent. I know I expect that you have learned what is a dispersing agent. You add the dispersing agent to promote the solubility, to prevent the agglomeration problem. Thereby the dye structure के surface में वो negative charges बन जाता है to prevent the cluster formation, and then you do it at a high temperature. For example, now coming down to practical discussion, you will be performing the practical in this type of a machine. It is not the exact machine which is available in our laboratory, but approximately you can assume this is the dyeing machine called the infrared dyeing machine, where you are going to do the dyeing of polyester. Okay, high temperature and high pressure. Okay, but whereas in the industries, when you want to dye something in bulk, like 500 kg of fabric, if you want to do, for that you have to use a different machine, which is called the jet dyeing machine, that we are not going to discuss. So for your practical point of view, this is the machine which you are going to work on. Okay, it will contain a beaker inside, and where there are some panel board where you can have the control of setting the temperature and pressure and how much time you want to dye, that you decide and you do the dyeing. So now I will move on to discuss about the recipe and calculation for your understanding. So just see how this dyeing is done. First you take dispersed dye of this is the recipe for dyeing, and this is the reduction clearing. Why this reduction clearing, that we will see. First the dyeing recipe I will tell you. Dispersed dye 2%, dispersing agent GL, which is the grams per liter, that is 1 grams per liter. Acetic acid also in grams per liter, which is 0.5. MLR 1:40, pH 6 to 6.5, temperature 130, time 1 hour. Okay, and next is the reduction clearing recipe. Sodium dithionate 2 GPL, sodium hydroxide 2 GPL, temperature 75, MLR 1:40, time 20 minutes. Okay, so now you are going to do the dyeing. How will you do the dye? Okay, that we will see now. See, this is the recipe given. Just imagine that you are given a recipe to perform some experiment like bleaching or de-sizing. This is the dyeing recipe. Okay, do you understand my lecture? Is it okay for you? Are you clear?
Yes.
Are you learning?
Yes, sir. Yes.
If you face any
Yes, sir.
if you face any problem, you can frankly tell me. Okay. Okay. So this is the dyeing recipe, and this is the reduction clearing recipe. So both these recipes I will explain you. So इसमें dispersed dye 2% लिखा हुआ है, dispersing agent 1 grams per liter लिखा हुआ है, acetic acid 0.5 GPL लिखा हुआ है, MLR 1:40, pH is given, temperature is given, time is given. A pH, temperature, time, these are this temperature and time machine में set हो जाता है. Okay, machines you set it. For our calculation part, this is the one which we are interested. Okay, so for example, how to put the calculation, that we will see. See, for example, how you want to take it, how you want to take the dye. If I say 2% shade, if you want, it can be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, what you want to produce, कितने depth चाहिए आपको. For example, if you want a very light shade, you may use around 0.5%. If you want a very deep shade, you may use 4%. It is your wish only to decide what type of a dye depth you want. Okay. For example, I am using 2% shade if I want. So for that, how to put the calculation? How will I know that 2%? How can I take from the dye? Okay. Assuming the dye is a pure dye, from that, how 2%? How will I take? So for that, what I do is, I will take 1 gram of dye and dissolve it in 100 ml water. Okay, I'm taking 100 ml water. Assume that this is 100 ml water, and just take a paper, take the one spatula में dye ले लो, उसके अंदर डाल दो, mix करो, dissolve हो जाता है. It will become a dye solution. Okay, this is called the stock solution. Okay, you prepare this. Next is the dispersing agent, but here dispersing agent is given as grams per liter 1%. Okay, so grams per liter, it means, for example, all these are editable. Just for your sake of understanding, it's written. For example, you see 1 gram per 1000 ml. Okay, so for okay, before going into that, I will explain you. See, for first, before going into calculation, just listen this thing. You need to prepare the stock solution for this dye. Just whatever stock solution you are prepared, that you keep it ready for that, because you need to pipette out the dye, 2% dye for your producing 2% shade. And then आप क्या करना है? You need to weigh the fabric. You need to take the fabric, cut a small swatch of fabric, and weigh it around, say, 1 gram. Let us assume, just assumption. It can be any weight. It can be 2 gram or 0.5 gram, anything. And then what you need to do is, इस beaker के अंदर, this beaker is a big beaker. Around, say, it may have the capacity of 200 ml, but we do not want 200 ml. How much volume of the हम कमर ले कितने वॉल्यूम चाहिए? इसके लिए there is a thing called MLR, which is otherwise called material to liquor ratio. This is given as 1:40. Okay, what does this 1 mean? 1 is the fabric weight, 40 is the times of how much times of the total volume. Okay, so if you see how much total volume of liquor, for that, what you do, you multiply this 1 gram of fabric weight into 40 times of the liquor ratio. Okay, so 1 into 40, it is the ratio, does not have any unit. So you multiply the fabric weight with this. So totally 40 ml. Okay, 40 ml is the total amount of solution that should be inside this beaker. Okay, so that is that. अभी डाई चाहिए आपको, कैसे कितने डाई लेना है, आप पहले बना के रखा स्टॉक सॉल्यूशन. For that, there is a formula. Just remember this formula. How much is the dye? Or this is not only for dye, whether it is a dye or salt or say dispersing agent, anything if you want. Just for your dye, I am written. For any chemical you want, you can use this formula. Okay. So this formula is called the WP by C. What is this W? Weight of the fabric is the W. P is the percentage of the dye required. C is the concentration of the stock solution. ओके, सो आपने स्टॉक सॉल्यूशन पहले बना के रखा. इसमें देख लीजिए कितने 1 ग्राम डाई लिया, 100 ml में डिसॉल्व करके बना के रखा. सो इससे आप लेना पड़ेगा 2%. ओके, सो इसके लिए क्या करते हैं, यू नीड टू पुट अ कैलकुलेशन. यू हैव अज्यूम्ड द फैब्रिक वेट एज 1 ग्राम. ओके, एंड दिस 1, just use this formula, weight of the fabric 1 into P is the percentage of the dye required. आपको कितने चाहिए as per recipe, you want 2%. So into 2 divided by concentration of the stock. कितने बना के रखा का stock solution? 1% बना के रखा. So इसको denominator में put the 1%. So it will give 2 ml. Okay, so this is how you prepare it. And coming down to discussion on dispersing agent, it is written 1 GPL. So this is something different from percentage. It is written as 1 GPL. Okay, so how to take now? You see, there are two ways to take the chemicals. One is you directly take the weight in grams from the physical balance. Okay, otherwise you need to prepare a solution and then take it from the pipette. डाई के लिए आपने बना के रखा है, इसलिए आपने ले लिया. डिस्पर्सिंग एजेंट अगर मान लो आपको ये नहीं चाहिए, if you do not want this, you want to take directly the weight. In that case, what you do? It is given as 1 gram per liter. Okay, so 1 gram in 1000 ml. So for 40 ml, because the total volume of liquor is 40 ml. इस 40 ml में कितने चाहिए? 40 ml, how much you need? How much is needed? That you can calculate. Can anyone tell what is the answer? 1 gram in 1000 ml is 1 GPL. So 40 ml में कितने ग्राम चाहिए? How much? Yes, can anyone tell?
25.25.
0.25 कैसे? 1 gram in 1000 ml. So 40 ml
0.4.
0.4 or 0.04? 0.4 or 0.04? You cross multiply करना है, समझ गया?
0.04.
0.04 gram. Okay. So you can directly take the weight of the dispersing agent 0.04 gram, so that it is over. Similarly for acetic acid, इधर it is mentioned हुआ है 0.5 GPL. So इसमें कैसे करना है? Same step, 0.5 gram in 1000 ml. It is the concentration we need. So for 40 ml, how much you need? 0.02 gram. Okay. So now how will you add all the chemicals? इसमें देखो this dispersing agent you have taken in grams. Okay, so no need to subtract it. Just total water कितने add करना है अभी? You have total water is the total volume of liquor. से बाकी chemical जो भी आप liquid form में लेते हैं उसको subtract करना है. ठीक है? So just to understand this, total volume of liquor कितने हैं? 40 ml. How did you get this 40 ml? You have multiplied the fabric weight with the material to liquor ratio. So this 40 minus dye कितने हैं? 2 ml, because this one you are taking it in the liquid form. ठीक है? Solid form में भी ले सकते हैं. अगर आप चाहते हैं fabric form क्या है? Grams. If you want to take the dye directly and then put it, that is also possible. But for that, what will happen? If the percentage of the dye required is very less, in that case, measuring a very small quantity of a dye in the physical balance will be difficult. For example, if a dye quantity is 0.001 gram, how will you take it? You understand? That is why we are preparing a stock solution, and from that stock solution, we are easily pipette कर सकते हैं. Okay, so that you do it, so that what you do, finally कितने पानी ऐड करना है? Total water needed equal to TVL minus डाई. ऐसा नहीं है, जो भी केमिकल आप लिक्विड फॉर्म में लिया उसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करना है. वेदर माइनस लिक्विड्स. केवल इसमें क्या है? केवल आपने डाई ओनली यू हैव टेकन इन द लिक्विड, बाकी पूरा यू हैव टेकन इन दिस सॉलिड. यू कैन सी हियर acetic acid you have taken as a solid. This also you have taken as, though the material is liquid in nature, you have weighed it. You have not you have just taken the weight and you have not taken the volume. Okay, so just to subtract this, so that you will get 38 ml. So 38 ml water you have to add, 2 ml dye you have to add, and apart from that you have to add the 0.02 gram of acetic acid, 0.04 gram of dispersing agent, and then mix them thoroughly, and then put this in the beaker, and then take the fabric, polyester fabric, उसको 1 gram polyester fabric आप बना के रखा है ना, वो ले लो, just wash that in the water, just squeeze it in your hand, put it inside this beaker, and then tight this beaker, close this, set the temperature, time, so that the dyeing will be performed. So इसमें क्या है, इस dyeing में the important thing is dyeing should be carried out with the acetic acid, because this dyeing action take place at the acidic pH only. You know the nature of the polyester, it is sensitive to alkali but not sensitive to acids. Okay, the dyeing reaction happens at the acidic pH, so you use a pH of around say 6 to 6.5. sometimes you may use 5.5 to 6.5 also. Okay, you use a acidic pH. Okay, so because polyester dyes, the dispersed dyes are dyed by the polyester at the acidic pH. Okay, and another important thing is the temperature should be 130 degrees centigrade, because it's a high temperature, high pressure. Okay, so pressure, how much you should set, that is automatically set by the machine itself. It will be around say 2.5 to 3 kilogram per centimeter square, because it's a high temperature, high pressure machine. Okay, so 130 degrees centigrade and pressure is automatically set, and time, how much time you have to take, you have to do the dyeing for 1 hour. So for example, let us assume your dyeing is started now, you will slowly raise the temperature from 40 degrees to 60 degrees with some gradient, that this much degree temperature in this much time slowly, so that around when it reaches 130 degrees centigrade, at that 130 degrees centigrade you keep it for 1 hour, and then your dyeing gets completed. So after the dyeing gets completed, what you do, you just drain out the liquid. So it will be very hot. 130 is a very high temperature. What you do, you just open the machine and keep it for some time to cool it. So once the temperature comes to 70 or 80 degrees, you take out the beaker, throw out the drained dye water, and then usko reduction clearing karna padega. Okay, because since you have added acid here, you have to neutralize it. Okay, finally the fabric ka pH, it should come to neutral. Okay, so for that what you do is you do the reduction clearing. Reduction clearing kitne ke liye you add the reducing agent. Okay, like sodium dithionate, isko otherwise called hydrose. Okay, you add hydrose, or there is other name is also there, sodium hydrosulfite. It can be called in 3 different names. This one is given as 2GPL. Similarly, same calculation, fabric weight, assuming the fabric weight as 1 gram, there may be some water present in it, but still taking it as a 40 ml. 40 ml के लिए कितने ग्राम चाहिए, directly you can add the gram, because both of them are given in GPL. Directly you add that, and then again start the machine, and then run this at the temperature of 75 degree for 20 minutes. Okay, so that reduction clearing में क्या होता है, जो भी dyes that are not fixed on the fabric, left over on the fabric, that will come out. Okay, by this reduction clearing, for unfixed dyes remove होता है, and fabric का pH भी, it will come to neutral pH. Okay, so that the acidic pH से it will come to the neutral pH. Okay, you just do the reduction clearing for this purpose, to remove the unfixed dyes on the surface. Okay, after this reduction clearing, what you do, you will do some additional rinses करते हैं, like पानी में टैप वाटर में वॉश कर सकते हैं, उसके बाद हॉट वॉश कर सकते हैं या कोल्ड वॉश कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये थोड़ा ऑप्शनल है. आफ्टर दैट यू डू सम मल्टीपल कोल्ड वॉश और हॉट वॉश विद योर हैंड, and you dry them, so that you will get a dyed polyester fabric. Okay, so for the polyester fabric dyeing, what you are supposed to know, that I have everything I have explained you should know what is meant by dispersed dye, what is meant by polyester fiber, what is meant by glass transition temperature, what is meant by dyeing temperature, what is meant by dispersing agent, what is the use of acetic acid, why do we perform here temperature at 130 degrees centigrade, and about the reduction clearing, why we do the reduction clearing. So all these things from the theoretical aspect point of view you should know. Apart from that, these calculations you should know. What is meant by material to liquor ratio, what is the total volume of liquor, these things also you need to know. Okay, so that's all about the experiment on the dyeing of polyester with the HTHP dyeing machine. If possible, I will try to make a video of how practically these chemicals are taken and added in the beakers, and how practical is performed in the IR dyeing machine. That I will make a separate video in future. I will do it for you. Now I have been speaking for a long time. Actually, I need to know from you whether are you learning something, or do you have any doubts? You can ask now. Yes. Any doubts or
No, sir.
पूरा समझ गया?
Yes, sir.
Any problem you faced? Am I talking very fast?
No, sir.
Okay. What about others? Gauri, Kedar Swami, Manish, Moreshwar. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you understand today's lecture?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about the dyeing of polyester with the dispersed dye by using the HTHP dyeing machine. In the next class, we will discuss about the dyeing of polyester with carrier, so that gradually we will go one by one experiment we will discuss. So that's all for today. If you want to say anything, if you want to ask anything, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can stop here for today.
Sir, PDF you will share in group or in Google Classroom?
I will share it in the WhatsApp itself.